The three big boys that everybody likes to follow on Wall Street: Google, Facebook, Apple. Everybody follows them. Everybody knows exactly what they're doing. And in the last 3 months, they spent a record-breaking amount of money lobbying in Washington for what they want to work out for them. I don't see how you blame them. That's what money's for. That's why you go and have lobbyists go and do your job. I don't see anything wrong with going and touting what you think your point is to make your point, hopefully, in your advantage. I don't see why spending money to do things to make your business better, as long as it's legal, let's just say as long as it's legal, is bad. So Facebook went, and they spent a couple of $1 million. Now, Facebook's big concern is that they don't want to have to be curtailed with the laws, with as far as gathering their user data and then being able to transfer that user data into advertising for those users. You choose to use Facebook's platform, you agree to the terms and services. I'm not entirely sure the fine print that Facebook's trying to put across as far as these maybe law adjustments go, but I can understand their point. They want to make sure that you get the best experience possible. And the best experience possible is going to be gathering the most data from you and finding out just what you like so that they can give you just what it is you want. Now, Google, on the other hand, spent about $5.5 million. Now, Google's big concern was security. They're concerned with having to give up data. They don't want to give data to the government if the government comes asking for data. Hey, Google, we want to know who's using what and doing what when, and IP addresses and the caches and so far and so forth. And Google really wants to make sure that they're kind of protecting their user base and just what their rights are, to really be telling the government, hey, privacy first, you keep your hands off, and we'll go over here and we'll do our jobs. And I don't know if Google wants to act like they're maybe my doctor. If they're my doctor, you know, the government can't come and take that. That's my privacy. So if I'm using the internet, I don't really think it's the government's business, unless of course there's been laws broken, in which case then I would imagine Google probably would work in accordance with the law. Now, Apple's in the same boat. Apple spent a couple of $1 million on the same thing. They want to make sure that they don't have to give up the exact same data. They don't want to be out there telling on all the people that are using their products and going and giving data to the government and making things for the government easier to maybe come down hard on whatever their users are doing. That's none of my concern, and Apple feels like it's none of their concern either. Why should they be out there not only cataloging all this stuff, but then handing over this data and basically making enemies out of the people that are paying their bills? Doesn't seem right. So Apple's also concerned with, they do a lot of business overseas. And they want to make sure that bringing in money back into the United States is going to be as tax-friendly as possible. How do you blame a company for trying to lobby to save as much money as possible? They want their earnings to be strong. That's what a good company is going to do. So if you're doing a lot of business overseas and you're paying a lot of taxes to bring that money back over and turn that into American money, if it takes a few meetings with President Trump and a couple of $1 million, I don't necessarily see the problem. Now, the one other thing Google was paying for is Google wants a little more laws passed in their favor, let's say, or a little more jurisdiction maybe in their favor is a better word, for autonomous vehicles. They have an autonomous vehicle project in the works, driverless vehicle, and they want to have what I imagine is some laws that benefit, I don't know, whatever liabilities maybe they see coming up, or whatever could potentially happen, or maybe there's some sort of rules that they don't think that their vehicle is going to be able to meet originally, that maybe it could meet down the line as they're working on this first part of technology. I don't know if it's emission laws. It could be a bunch of different things. I'm not entirely sure what it is, and obviously none of us are too privy to what the meetings are, but we know Google spent $5.5 million lobbying for not only the keeping your data safe from the government, but also hopefully making the government see their point of view on their autonomous vehicles. So there you have it. Three of the biggest companies on Wall Street, three that everybody follows, spent record-breaking money in the past quarter lobbying DC. They want things to go their way. I want things to go my way.